Hello guys, I'm Deepanu Chatterjee. Currently I'm doing my masters in biotechnology from Christo Jayanti College, Autonomous, Bangalore. Our professor for genetic engineering and recombinant DNA technology is Dr. Manikandan, and we are very happy to learn under you, sir. So today I'm going to talk about polymerase chain reaction. So coming to what introduction of PCR. So it is a technique that takes specific sequence of DNA of small amount and amplifies it to be used for further testing. It is an in vitro technique that is used in molecular biology genetic engineering lab. It amplifies a known sequence of DNA to several order of magnitude. It typically amplifies DNA fragment of between 0.1 to 10 kilobase pairs. One DNA molecule is enough to produce multiple copies. So why is it named as polymerase chain reaction? Because polymerase, that is DNA polymerase, is the only enzyme that is used in this reaction, and it is called chain because the products of the first reaction become substrate of the following one, and the cycle goes on. So coming to the history of PCR, in 1983 Dr. Carey Mills developed PCR. In 1985 first publication of PCR by Cetus Corporation appeared in Science. In 1986 purified Taq polymerase is first used in PCR. In 1988 Perkin-Elmer introduced the automated thermal cycler. In 1989 Science declares Taq polymerase molecule of the year. In 1990, amplification and detection of specific DNA sequence using a fluorescent DNA binding dye laid the foundation for future real-time or kinetic PCR. In 1991, RT-PCR is developed using a single thermostable polymerase, that is RTTH, facilitating the diagnostic test for RNA viruses. In 1993, Dr. Carey Mills shared Nobel Prize in Chemistry for developing PCR technology. So coming to the components of PCR, it uses components like DNA template, that is the DNA molecule that contains the DNA region to be amplified, DNA polymerase, which adds nucleotides complementary to template strand at the 3' OH of the primer and synthesizes new strands of DNA complementary to the target sequence. The most commonly used DNA polymerase is Taq DNA polymerase. Primers. Primers are synthetic DNA strands which are about 18 to 25 nucleotides that is complementary to the 3' end of the template strand. DNA polymerase starts synthesizing new DNA from the 3' end of the primer. Two primers that are used for PCR, that is the forward primer and the reverse primer. So the fourth component of PCR is nucleotides. All types of nucleotides are the building blocks for new DNA strand synthesis, and they are very essential for the reaction. It includes adenine, guanine, cytosine, thymine, or uracil. So fifth component of PCR is magnesium. It affects primer annealing and template denaturation as well as enzyme activity. Buffer solution, it maintains the pH and anionic strength of the reaction solution that is suitable for the activity of the enzyme. So coming to the steps of PCR, there are three major steps in PCR that are repeated for 30 to 40 cycles. The first step in PCR is denaturation, which generally occurs at a temperature of 94 degrees centigrade. In this, the reaction mixture is heated to 94 degrees centigrade for 1 minute, which causes separation of DNA double strands. Now each strand acts as template for synthesis of complementary strand. So the next step of PCR is annealing at 54 degrees centigrade. This step consists of cooling of reaction mixture after denaturation step to 54 to 55 degrees centigrade, which causes hybridization of primer to separate strands of DNA. The length and the GC content of the primer should be sufficient for stable binding with template. The third step of PCR is extension at 72 degrees centigrade. The reaction mixture is heated to 72 degrees centigrade, which is the ideal working temperature for the Taq polymerase. The polymerase adds nucleotide complementary to template on 3' OH of primers, thereby extending the new strand. So after these three steps are repeated for 30 to 40 cycles, thereby comes a step that is known as the final hold. So in this, after the three steps are repeated for about 35 to 40 times to produce million copies of exact copies of the target DNA. Once several copies are completed during the fold step, 4 to 15 degrees centigrade temperature is maintained for short-term storage of the amplified DNA. So final hold is basically done after the three steps of PCR are completed, and we are a bit late to take out the sample from the PCR machine. So we can program the PCR machine in such a way so that we can store a sample at 4 to 15 degree temperature for just several minutes to hours. So this diagram depicts about the steps in PCR. There is the denaturation, annealing of the primers to the template strand, and then extension. So PCR is basically an exponential cycle. As both strands are copied during PCR, there is an exponential increase of the number of copies of the gene. Suppose if there is only one copy of the desired gene before the PCR starts, after one cycle of PCR there will be 2 copies, and after 2 cycles there will be 4 copies, and after 3 cycles there will be 8 copies, and so on. So PCR is basically an exponential cycle in which the DNA sample increases at an exponential rate of about 2 to the power n. So come to the general protocol of PCR. Prepare following reaction mixtures like the distilled water, magnesium, DNTPs, forward, reverse primer, stack polymerase, template DNA strand in the following volumes. So this reaction mixtures are then pipetted out into 0.2 to 0.5 ml small PCR tubes. Then these PCR tubes are then lowered onto the PCR machine and then close the lid and turn on the PCR machine. It has PCR machine has got function buttons. PCR machine has got function buttons like this one. So where you can function for how many cycles you want to run it, or about the annealing and denaturation and extension step for how many minutes you want to continue it and at what temperature. So after selecting all these programs, we can click on the button enter, and then our PCR will start. So coming to the types of PCR, there are nested PCRs that prevents non-specific binding of primer and its amplification. 2 sets of primers used in 2 successive runs of polymerase chain reaction. First primer binds to the region far away from target sequence and product is formed. Products are then used in a second PCR reaction with second set of primers whose 3' end complementary to target sequence. Second PCR has little contamination from unwanted products of primer, dimer, hairpins, and alternative primer target sequences. So come to the next type, that is the inverse PCR. It is a method that is used to allow PCR on when only one internal sequence is known. Inverse PCR was developed by Ochman et al. In 1988, and it uses standard PCR primer oriented in the reverse direction of the usual orientation. The template for the reverse primer is a restriction fragment that has been self-ligated. Inverse PCR functions to clone sequences flanking a known sequence. Flanking DNA sequences are digested and then ligated to generate circular DNA. So, application of inverse PCR, amplification and identification of flanking sequences such as transposable elements and the identification of genomic inserts. So coming to the third type, that is the reverse transcriptase PCR. It is based on the process of reverse transcription, which reverse transcribes RNA into DNA and was isolated from retroviruses. First step of PCR is known as the first strand synthesis reaction, in which synthesis of cDNA using oligo DT primers, that is at 37 degree centigrade for 1 hour. So second strand synthesis, it is a digestion of cDNA and RNA hybrid. So it allows the detection of even rare or low copy mRNA sequences by amplifying its complementary DNA. Real-time PCR uses a fluorescent reporter signal to measure the amount of amplicon as it is generated. This kinetic PCR allows for data collection after each cycle of PCR instead of only one at the end of the 20 to 40 cycles. So come to the applications of PCR. PCR can be used to amplify DNA from a small amount of cells, which is approximately 800 to 1000 cells. The amplified DNA from cells can be used in DNA fingerprint analysis to determine who was at the crime scene or paternity disputes. DNA fingerprinting using PCR in forensic investigations. DNA is isolated from blood at a crime scene and then it can be amplified by PCR, and then the amplified DNA is digested with restriction enzymes and resolved on an agarose gel. Southern blot analysis is performed to give a DNA fingerprint. PCR is also used in pre-implantation genetic diagnosis. It is a way to determine if human embryos from in vitro fertilization have genetic defects like cystic fibrosis. So a cell is removed from an 8-cell embryo and the DNA is analyzed by PCR, that is the DNA is amplified by PCR and then it is sequenced to know about the genetic defects. So only healthy embryos are implanted back into the mother's uterus. So in come to the application of PCR in Huntington's disease. Huntington disease is caused by a mutation in the Huntington gene. In non-Huntington individuals, the Huntington gene has a pattern called trinucleotide repeats that consist of the nucleus CAG occurring in repetition less than 30 times. In Huntington individuals, the CAG trinucleotide repeat occurs more than 36 times in the HD gene. PCR can be performed on an individual's DNA to determine whether the individual has Huntington disease. The DNA is amplified via PCR and sequenced, and the number of trinucleotide repeats is then counted. So coming to the next application, there is cystic fibrosis. It is caused by mutation in the cystic fibrosis transmembrane conductance regulated gene. In non-cystic fibrosis individuals, the CTFR gene codes for a protein that is a chloride ion channel and is involved in the production of sweat, digestive juices, and mucus. In cystic fibrosis individuals, mutation in the CTFR gene led to thick mucus secretions in the lungs and subsequent persistent bacterial infections. The presence of CTFR mutation in an individual can be detected by performing PCR and performing sequencing on the amplified gene. So coming to human immunodeficiency virus, that is HIV. HIV test basically relies on the PCR with primers that will only amplify a section of the viral DNA found in an individual's bodily fluids. Therefore, if there is a PCR product, the person is likely to be HIV positive, and if there is no PCR product, the person is HIV negative. PCR has also been used for wartime human identification and validated in crime labs for mixed sample forensic caseworks. It is also used in paternity testing, and it is also used in archaeology for identifying mummies and all. So coming to our conclusion of PCR, things that we can try if PCR is not working. So if no products are produced, check the DNA quality, reduce annealing temperature, increase magnesium concentration, and add or try adding DMSO. So come to the advantages. Small amount of DNA is required per test. Result obtained more quickly, that is generally within 1 day for PCR. Usually not necessary to use radioactive material. So these are my references, and thank you.